Across businesses, data plays an important role in the entire customer life cycle. Getting the right data is critical to banks and financial institutions like ours. This helps us make banking a lot safer as we get a clear and correct picture of our customers and the transactions. So how do we go about ensuring that the data we collect and record in our bank systems is correct and up to date at all times? It all begins with understanding the customer's financial crime risk life cycle. Understanding the customer's requirements and evaluating data is key to determining the customer's risk to the bank. There are over 1,000 critical data elements critical to HSBC. Of these, over 200 data elements are critical to effective and efficient financial crime compliance. However, there is a small subset of 20 data points, which, if addressed on priority, will have an immediate and positive impact to improve the effectiveness of the risk model and the efficiencies of the alert management. Data plays an important role at every step of the customer risk management life cycle. During the customer due diligence at the time of onboarding, at the time of customer data management during periodic reviews, for ongoing transaction monitoring and screening activities, during in-depth reviews of the customer relationship. So the next time you are onboarding a customer, pay close attention to some of these data fields, as this can help assess the financial crime risk better. Here are some of the data fields that you need to pay close attention to for an individual customer. Name, address, nationality, date of birth, country of tax residence. For non-individual customer, information about the industry they operate in, date of incorporation, who owns and controls them, type of legal entity structure. In addition to this, there's also vital information to look out, which helps form a more detailed customer profile. Do keep a check on vital information like occupation, source of funds, source of wealth, expected turnover on the account, and industry type. These are important during the customer due diligence and the enhanced due diligence processes throughout the customer's relationship with the organization. Remember that these are dynamic factors and will need to be updated as and when they change. The customer's risk rating is determined based on the information provided and hence will need to be accurate at all times. Let's face it, errors are likely to creep in while recording data. That's why it's important to pay special attention and ensure that the details are captured correctly. A small variance can have a big impact on the customer information and the related data fields. This variance could have an impact on the customer risk rating and also on the monitoring systems. For example, a numeric entry like an 8 can be misread as a 3, changing a customer's date of birth. A name like Michael may get recorded with a spelling error that alters it as Michelle while entering the data. Or an NBFI client could be wrongly classified as a security company, which is quite different from a securities company. Getting accurate and updated information on the system is key for transaction monitoring and customer screening to be effective. We need to constantly keep customer information updated on the systems, as this information is required for conducting periodic customer reviews, customer screening, and transaction monitoring. Some of the other occasions when we must update data for our existing customers are change in address, marital status, change in business activities, residential change, etc. Our interactions with the customers will be a key element in sourcing data. It is when we are able to ask the right questions and obtain the correct information that we will be able to update the critical data fields in the system. So when we are diligent in obtaining all the information and updating the database, we ensure that we help manage the financial crime risks at every stage of the customer's financial crime management life cycle. Apart from capturing the customer information accurately, it is equally important to have all transaction-related data to be captured correctly. For example, all cash transactions should reflect as cash on the core banking systems. Similarly, all information on payment originators and beneficiaries should be captured for remittances. As part of customer due diligence and enhanced due diligence, we must find out the purpose of why the account is being opened. The information required to look out for in case of individual and non-individual customers is different. So a keen eye for details is necessary in order to gather the right data. In case of an individual customer, what is the customer's background and occupation? What is the customer's residential status and address? Does the customer have an existing account with the bank? Does the customer have a former name? In case of a non-individual customer, what is the purpose for opening the account? What are the types of transactions expected? Who are the beneficial owners of the company? The identifier details of the beneficial owner should be captured in the core banking system, even if the beneficial owner does not have a bank relationship in the personal capacity. In order to effectively screen our customers, we should ensure that we obtain and capture accurate information relating to the customers on the bank systems. In the event that you notice any unusual behavior that is not in line with the customer's profile, you must raise an EUAR so that a review can be conducted. The unusual activity report and the alerts generated during the monitoring and screening are investigated at various levels. In the event the investigations reveal that the activity in the account is suspicious, it gets escalated to the higher levels for review. The reviewers investigate them in great detail and obtain relevant facts from various sources. The decision is then made on whether the customer needs to be reported to the authorities on grounds of suspicion that have been identified. Where there is cause for concern on the transaction activity patterns, it may be prudent to refer the customer to the Customer Selection and Exit Management Committee for an independent and holistic review of the customer relationship. Where we find that the customer's transaction behavior is not as per the expected trends, the relationship will need to be reviewed if we do not get satisfactory explanations. In this case, the customer's nature of business or occupation and expected account activities are the critical data elements. Data is critical in the customer life cycle. So let us do a quick recap of the key points where correct data has a part to play. This will allow you to follow the due process when it comes to gathering, entering, and verifying the correct data. Getting the right data is crucial, as it is this data which is fed into the various systems that are critical. Hence, it's not just about obtaining data, but also about making sure that the core banking system is updated. Keeping this in mind, let's do our best to ensure that at every level of our interaction with the customer, we diligently obtain the right data and ensure that our systems are updated promptly. HSBC. Safer today, safer tomorrow.